Good evening, everyone. Today we'll be diving into a critical topic that affects many individuals and communities: stereotype threat and racial differences in citizen experiences of police encounters. This is a key area of study, especially considering ongoing discussions about police practices and community relations. Stereotype threat is defined as the risk of confirming negative stereotypes about one group. This psychological event can have profound effects on performance and behavior, particularly in high-stakes situations like police encounters. As we examine this topic, we will explore how these threats manifest differently across racial and ethnic groups during interactions with law enforcement. To investigate this, researchers employed a mixed methods approach combining quantitative surveys with qualitative interviews. This surveys gathered data on individual experience during police encounters, asking participants to reflect on their feelings of anxiety, stress, and perceived bias. The qualitative interviews offer deeper insight into the live experience of individuals from various racial backgrounds, revealing how stereotype threat influenced their interaction with police. Findings show significant differences in how individuals from different racial backgrounds experience police encounters. For instance, Black and Latina participants reported feeling heightened anxiety and presumed to conform to positive stereotypes during these encounters. Many described feeling the need to act a certain way to avoid negative assumptions from officers. Controversially, Black participants reported feeling more at ease during police encounters. They expressed lower levels of anxiety and fewer concerns about being treated unfairly based on their race. This disparity underscores the pervasive impact of stereotype threat and raises important questions about equality and justice in law enforcement practices. As we consider these results, it is crucial to think about broader implications of community-police relations. The concept of stereotype threat not only affects individuals' experiences but also contributes to systematic issues within law enforcement. For example, the anxiety stemming from stereotype threat can lead to behavior that unintentionally escalate encounters, creating a vicious cycle of mistrust and misunderstanding. Let us now open the floor for discussion. I would like to invite to share their insight on how these findings relate to recent events in our communities. For one, what are your thoughts on the implications of stereotype threat for community relations? Now, I would love to hear your perspective on potential policy changes that address these issues. How can law enforcement agencies better support citizens from diverse backgrounds? Finally, given your ability in community activism, how do you think local organizations could play a role in mitigating the effects of stereotype threat in police encounters? Thank you all for engaging in this important conversation. Let us continue to explore how we can work towards understanding and improving the experience of all citizens in their interactions with law enforcement.
Ever personally experienced stereotyping during a police encounter? If yes, where were you when this occurred and why do you think you experienced this?
I don't know if I would consider it stereotyping, but I was driving to work one day on Port St. Lucie Boulevard, and a cop just pulled up right next to me and started screaming at me to roll my window down. And I was apparently going too fast when I was like going 5 over. So
And what he said?
he just screaming, yeah, no can, like no nothing. So he could 100% see me. So then he was just screaming like, oh, if you don't stop driving like that right now, like I'm gonna effing like arrest you. Then he just kept saying like the F word and whatever. I kind of just looked at him because like what am I supposed to do in that situation?
Right. So you think he was stereotyping you or not?
Low-key.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever personally experienced stereotyping during a police encounter?
So one time, I was dropping off my cousin to school. It was Somerset, and a cop had came up. I was driving into the school parking lot to pick her up. I drive a black Nissan Altima. Somebody had just sped by me, and he thought it was me. So he pulled up to my car, and he was yelling at me, cussing at me, telling me to roll down the window. And then I told him I was in the line the whole time, so I couldn't have done anything wrong. And then when he realized that it wasn't me, because I'm a girl and I have my cousin in the passenger seat, but when he realized he was in the wrong, he had just left and went after the other car.
Do you think that there's anything you could have done differently to prevent this?
No. I was just a bystander. I was trying to pick up a little girl from school.
I don't think I was just trying to get to work.
Exactly. Sometimes
Mind
cops,
my business. Cops are just sometimes overly aggressive.
and they take advantage of their authority.
Have you ever personally experienced stereotyping during a police encounter?
I have not.
Why do you believe you didn't experience this? And were there steps you took to ensure the lesser likelihood of a non-threatening encounter?
Well, I just haven't been in a situation where there was an encounter personally.
Have you ever personally experienced stereotyping during a police encounter?
My son.
Where were you when this occurred, and why do you think you experienced this, or your son experienced this?
He experienced it because of his color, and all he was doing, we lived on a private road, and all he was doing is trying to turn home, and he had to show his license that he lived there.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So just being black.